Hello everybody, I'm here today with Grandmaster Krasenkow from Poland. It is my good fortune that I'm having a chance to speak to him. Reporting from Piestany. Hello sir, how are you?
Okay, so more or less.
So you've had quite an up and down tournament, right? And before we get to this tournament, I would like to ask you a little bit about your past. You used to play for the Soviet Union, that's correct, right?
Yeah, I was born in Moscow in the Soviet Union, and actually I grew up as a Soviet player and became a grandmaster when I was still in the Soviet Union.
Okay. And then you decided to switch to Poland?
Yeah. The point was that, as you know, the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991. And the situation in Russia was quite complicated. And I wanted to have some quiet life and play in international tournaments. That's why I was looking for possibilities of emigration, and it just happened by occasion that I was invited to Poland. I was invited by a club for which I had already played in the Polish team championship.
Okay.
And so that's why I found myself in Poland. Had I been invited to some other country, probably I would have moved to that country.
Okay, but Poland was great for you because you had a great experience there. You were the 14-time national champion in Poland.
I was 14 times team champion. With clubs.
With the club.
Actually, with two clubs. With the first club, which I joined at the beginning, it is still on from the city of Gorzów.
Okay.
And then with them I won 6 titles.
Wow.
6 national titles, and then I switched to the one of the greatest clubs of Poland of that time, Polonia Warsaw.
Okay.
With them I won 8 more national titles, and also several. Let me recall how many. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think 3 titles or 3. Silver medals of the European Club Cup.
Wow, wow, congratulations. This is such an illustrious career. You were also the first Polish player to cross 2700. How do you think that came about, and what effect has that had on the Polish chess culture?
Actually, sometimes it happens that you play and it looks like everything goes easy. So you easily win all your games, you find all ideas. It looks like your opponents are not so strong, even top players, I don't know, some like Karpov or Gelfand or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're not so strong. You can easily beat, maybe not easily, but you can beat them.
Right.
And you have such periods. And then unfortunately you have worse periods when nothing works, everything goes wrong. And you don't understand how you can win a game.
But isn't this is basically the story of any sports player, right?
Yes,
any sport has this. I guess that's what they say, that the form is not permanent, but the talent is, right? So, I mean, that is something that speaks for itself. So I've noticed a lot, like I travel a lot with my son, and we've noticed that the Polish players are actually very strong, and they're all very underrated.
Actually, when I came to Poland, there were just 3 grandmasters in Poland, and one of them had also immigrated from the Soviet Union. It's Alex Wojtkiewicz, and two other grandmasters had already passed the peak. So there were actually, the chess life in Poland was not at the highest level. And then I think, first of all, there are it's not only my contribution, because after the collapse of the Soviet Union, a lot of chess players and also coaches from the former Soviet Union looked for job in other countries, and Poland is a country quite close in culture, in language,
right.
And that's why a lot of good trainers started working in Poland.
I see.
And that made a great contribution to Polish chess. A lot of good players grew up, but also I also had my contribution. I think it is kind of I gave a kind of example.
Yes.
I won some tournaments. I got high rating. I don't know, advanced to the fifth round of the of the FIDE World Championship in 1997. And parents of young people, of young boys and girls, looked at me. Well, he can achieve that, but then why my son cannot,
yes.
or my daughter cannot?
Yes.
And also, actually, after I achieved that success in the FIDE World Championship in the town where I lived, I told you it was Gorzów.
Yes.
And chess clubs were full of kids.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so they all wanted to play chess, and rather their parents wanted them to play chess.
So you were like this role model for all the young...
something like that.
Yeah,
yes.
You're like the Vishy Anand of Poland, yeah?
Yeah, despite the fact that I was an immigrant. So that is, of course, one thing is a native Pole, and the other thing is an immigrant from Russia, especially.
Right.
The relations between Poland and Russia never were easy.
That's right.
So...
Well, that's a great point.
But still, anyway.
No, that was really good. So I actually personally have this really great admiration for you. To see you play, you're 58 years old and you're still fighting it out on the chessboard like another 12 or 13-year-old who's got that energy, and we see the same energy in you as well. So I want to know, how do you do this?
No, now unfortunately it has changed recently, and as you see in this tournament and also in the previous tournament, so I didn't display a lot of energy. Unfortunately, because it was also the events of the last year, because we have a war in Ukraine.
Absolutely, sir.
Yes, and also I have my son-in-law is Ukrainian.
Oh.
So, and his family had to flee Ukraine, and also his mother spent a couple of months with us, but then she had to go back because her husband, my son-in-law's father, had to stay in Ukraine. He could not leave because he can be still conscripted to the army. And also my son-in-law's younger brother has arrived to us. We have to help them, and also I worked for a while as a volunteer helping refugees from Ukraine, and so in this situation it's very difficult to concentrate on chess.
I agree with you.
And unfortunately. And besides, still, unfortunately, you say that at this age I have energy. Unfortunately, the energy decreases, and I have much less energy than, for instance, last year when I played in the World Cup. And,
yes, and you played against
the World Cup, yes.
You played against Pragananda, and you were one all in the classical format.
But at least you know, I advanced to the third round.
Absolutely, a lot of people were knocked out in the first round itself. So you did great, sir. And that's what I want to ask you. Like, what's your motivation to continue playing? Because you're also a fantastic coach. So what brings you back to the board?
Well, some motivation is I always had the same motivation. I simply loved chess. I liked so these events, these adventures on the board.
Yes.
Yes, and it was always interesting for me. So that gives me motivation to play on.
Excellent. Sir.
But unfortunately now, you know, recently, you know, when I start making simple mistakes and stupid mistakes, now it becomes not so pleasant.
I can understand.
Yeah.
So coming to the point where about your coaching, you've been a coach to many talents, including Vishy Anand. So how has been your experience with that, and what is your take on the younger talents that are coming up, the young prodigies, especially from India?
Now, regarding Vishy, I think I was not a kind of a regular coach of him. We just worked together we had several sessions together. We just analyzed some openings. I helped him to analyze some openings mostly. And this is not like, you know, like Elisbaru Bilava was for him. So
sure.
Regular coach, and with him he worked for a long time. Or later, like seconds, like Radoslav Wojtaszek was his second for a long time.
Yes.
And I think he still is, yes, or not anymore. I don't remember actually. Okay, so this is one thing. The other thing is that I really try to help young players, and I must tell you that still I prefer to play myself, rather than to coach. But okay, it always inspires when your pupil gets some successes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how would you think chess has changed from the time that you used to be like coaching or learning to today, you know, as far as the
completely different. First of all, computers have changed chess a lot, and you know, computers are developing all the time.
Yes.
When I started playing chess, even when I became grandmaster, there were no computers actually.
Right.
And I thought, you know, there were chess informants, these big books.
Yes.
And I always, before going to the tournament, I always thought to take 4 recent informants or 5 recent informants, because you know they're very heavy to take another informant.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But on the other hand, you get more information.
Absolutely.
So that was the way of working in those days.
And now it's all about the computer.
Then everything with computers, and now now of course it's much easier to make progress. Yes. Because first of all, computer immediately, at least the computer doesn't explain why this or that move is good. But at least it shows you good moves.
Yes.
Besides, then there is internet. You can play online, and actually playing is the best way of training. When you play yourself, you gain experience.
Right.
Even if you play blitz, I don't know. I myself don't play bullet, so I don't know whether it is a really good
way of learning.
Yes, for learning. But at least you know when you play, you see a lot of various positions.
Absolutely.
You learn a lot of ideas.
So do you believe as a coach and as a player that every game that you play online should be analyzed?
Oh, I don't know if it is possible. It depends how many games you play online.
But do you, like as a coach, advise your students?
No, of course, if something interesting happens in the game that you really attracts your attention, then of course it's useful to analyze an interesting endgame, an interesting maneuver, an interesting position that you are not sure whether you played correctly or not.
Right.
Yeah. So of course everything that happened on the board is teaches you. Yeah.
Yes. So you're very well known for your opening theory, I guess, as a coach as well, especially the H3 variation in the King's Indian. So what do you think has been your contribution to openings in chess?
No, actually, regarding this H3 system, there was a story, when before I played various systems against the King's Indian, and once at one of the tournaments I shared a room with grandmaster. He was not a grandmaster yet, but future grandmaster Igor Henkin, who now represents Germany. And I was to play against Jeroen Piquet, a famous Dutch grandmaster, and he always played King's Indian. I didn't know what to do. And Igor told me, why don't you want to play this H3? This Bagirov plays in. Bagirov was a famous Latvian grandmaster, and he showed me some games by Bagirov from informants. We didn't have computers yet.
Okay.
From informants, from these 4 informants or 5 informants. Yes, and indeed I liked it. I started playing it, and it's very interesting system. It's quite complicated. It's not now. Now a lot of people know how to react with black.
Yes.
But earlier it was an easy business for me. No one knew what to do.
Fantastic.
Yes, so but it's very complicated also for white. So it's not so easy.
Right.
You know the game I lost to the Indian Isha.
Yes.
That I don't know why, but I simply misunderstood the position.
Right, and that's what she was also saying, that even she didn't understand for sure whether the sacrifice was working or not.
Yeah, it's a practical sacrifice, yes. And also I knew a good reaction, but I wanted to get even a better position that I could have got, but unfortunately it was a mistake.
Yes. That's what I think. Chess is brutal. I keep saying this. One bad move and it erases everything good that you've done in the previous moves. So you need to have nerves of
steel.
Lack
of concentration.
Yes.
Lack of attention, and
it's over. And just one move. You don't get a second chance. It's brutal.
Like I had yesterday, by the way. So I was already enjoyed my win and made an inaccurate move, and the win went
into a draw.
Yes.
That's chess. Yeah. But so thank you so much for your time. Before you leave, I wanted to just ask you one last question. I know you had come to India in 2010, and I think you played an event and you won that event. And
wait, 2010, 2008. Maybe something like that, something around that.
Yeah.
In Mumbai. Yes.
And yes, in Mumbai. And the feedback that I got was that you used to never sit on the board. You used to play your move and then you were just walking around the whole time. Would you like to share with us why is it that you were doing that?
No, it's difficult to sit the same
for
place
so long.
For so long.
Okay.
So you must relax. You must have some at least
movement.
Yes.
Yes, but you also like to think blindfolded. Maybe is that?
Yeah, of course.
So you're walking around. You're thinking about your position.
Yes, but it's because it's very very difficult. It's not good for your health when you sit all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's been a great pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so much for your time. Any last parting thoughts about where you're going to go from here in the future now? Are you going to play more?
No, I don't know. No, no. First, let's see what will the war is going on.
Yes.
When it finishes, we don't know. We have Ukraine is just nearby.
Yes.
So we have a lot of refugees.
Absolutely.
We have what will happen next, no one knows. So now I am sitting and waiting. Besides, I have some family issues. I have now a grandson, and now another grandson is coming up.
Oh, lovely!
Yes, so
other duties.
I don't know whether they will play chess. My daughter doesn't want them to play because we tried to teach her chess,
yes.
But because also my wife is a chess player, WIM. Yes, and we tried to teach her chess, but probably overpressed. So she didn't want to play chess.
She didn't want to play chess.
She played a little, but then she quit.
Yeah.
And now maybe it was good because now she's a good specialist. She works and
oh, that's great.
Yes, and now we don't know. Now she doesn't want her son, means our grandson, to play chess. Probably. Okay, we'll see.
But you don't know. Maybe they'll play with their grandfather and they'll find their passion.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
Wish you all the very best, sir. Okay. It was great chatting with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.